Let's begin this passage reading. Something quick, something not so simple as you think. So let's start. Let's start with today's segment. The title was Let Us Make a Slave. I'll read it to you, word for word. Let's Make a Slave is the study of the scientific process of man breaking and slave making. It describes the rational and the results of Anglo-Saxon ideas and methods of ensuring the master-slave relationships. And the message is still true. I want you guys to understand, I'm not reading this shit to hurt anybody, but I want you guys to understand your true powers. So the only way out is in. By William Lynch on the bank of James River, 1712. Gentlemen, I greet you here on the bank of King James River in the year of our Lord, 1712. First, I shall thank you, the gentlemen of the colony of Virginia, for bringing me here. I am here to help you solve your problems with slaves. Your invitation reached me on my modest plantation in the West Indies, where I have experimented with some of the newest but still oldest methods of control of slaves. Ancient Rome would envy us if my program was implemented. As our boat sailed on James River, named for our illustrious king, whose version of the Bible we cherish, I saw enough to know that your problem is not unique. My thing is, what made him reference the Bible? In King James Version, exactly. Let's continue. While Rome used cords of wood as crosses for standing human bodies along its highways in great numbers, you are using the tree and the rope on occasion. You see it says crosses for standing humans on. Make you think of Jesus. Stay with me. I caught a whiff of a dead nigger hanging from a tree a few miles back. And I'm not exaggerating. That's what it says. I caught a view of a dead nigger a few miles back. You are not only losing valuable stock by hangings, you are having uprisings. Slaves are running away, your animals are killed. Gentlemen, you know what your problems are? I do not need to elaborate. I am not here to enumerate your problems. I am here to introduce a method of solving them. Now remind you, this is William Lynch, 1712, on the bank of James River. In my bag here, I have a foolproof method for controlling your black slaves. I guarantee every one of you that if installed correctly, it will control the slaves for at least 300 years. My method is simple. Any member of your family or your overseers can use it. So you understand, you see how it's piecing and it's breaking it down, right? So let's just continue. I have outlined a number of differences among the slaves. I take these differences and make them bigger. I use fear, distrust, and envy for control purposes. These methods have worked on my modest plantation in the West Indies. It will work throughout the South. Take this simple list of differences and think about them. On the top of my list is age, but it is only there because it starts with an A. The second is color or shade. There is intelligence, size, sex, size of plantations, status on plantations, attitude of owner, whether the slaves live in the valley, on the hill, east, west, north, south, have fine hair or coarse hair, or tall or short. So what is he doing? Pretty much what he's doing is he's breaking everything down and pretty much telling you this is what you'll use for the method of breaking them against them. You understand? He says sex, size of the plantations, or status on plantation. Okay? Think larger now. Think society. Think where you are now. Now that you have a list of differences, I shall give you an outline of actions. But before that, I shall assure you that the distrust is stronger than trust, and envy is stronger than adulation, respect, and admiration. My apologies. Let's continue. The black slave, after receiving this indoctrination, shall carry on the process and become self-refueling and self-regenerating for hundreds of years, maybe even thousands. Don't forget, you must pitch the old black against the young black, and the young black male against the old black male. You must use the dark-skinned slaves versus the light-skinned slaves, and the light-skinned slaves versus the dark-skinned slaves. You must use the female versus the male, and the male versus the female. Now, this is for all you guys who had those Kevin Samuel spills, who like watching Kendra, the mediocre territorial reviews, all of that. I want you to understand, this is systematically telling you this is how they split us up. Don't forget to pitch the old black versus the young black male against the old black male. You must use dark-skinned slaves versus the light-skinned slaves, and the light-skinned slaves versus the dark-skinned slaves. You must use female versus the male, and the male versus the female. You must also have your white servants and overseers distrust all blacks, but it is necessary that your slaves trust and depend on us. I'm sorry, it's starting to anger me. They must love, respect, and trust us only. Gentlemen, these kits are the keys to control. Use them. Have your wives and children use them. Never miss opportunity. If used intensely for 1 year, the slaves themselves will remain perpetually distrustful. Remember, this is a speech being pitched on James River, 1712 by William Lynch. The West Indies is where he practiced his things first. This understanding has been millions of years, but you must know who you are. You must understand how it all played out, how it came about, what started it, the indoctrination and all. I'll read only a few more, and you'll just have to tune into the next video. This speech was delivered by a white slave owner, William Lynch, on the bank of James River, 1712. I'm not sure if you can see that. Let's make a slave. The origin and the development of a social being called the Negro. Let us make a slave. What do we need? First of all, we need a black nigger, a pregnant nigger bitch, and her nigger boy. And that's where we'll stop at.